everyone gets to see them, because there are some, over the last couple of months, there have been some really good performances in Hitless Cuphead, and a lot of people have gotten much better, and there's been more and more runners coming. So I'm definitely excited to show off like what everyone's done for the DLC. The DLC is pretty much the hardest part of Cuphead, and like before the before the Cuphead section, like everyone was just practicing the DLC because it's just really hard to get down. So I also have Ranamo here, and she'll be helping me. Yo.
Hi, I'm Vero. Will be helping along. I recently started running this game myself, so it's really interesting to see all these top players, see what their strats are, and to see what characters and weapons they're gonna choose. It's gonna be fun to see differences.
Yeah, everybody, it looks like everyone's waiting. Everyone, before we introduced ourselves, everyone already said good luck to each other, and I think everyone's ready. Everyone's just waiting at the title screen. We need to get Muck to the title screen.
Yeah.
And then, so once I see him on the broadcast, I'll do the countdown. He heard me. Cool.
Good luck to all runners.
Yeah.
You all do great. I know all of these people, all of these 4 runners have done some excellent runs already, so we're gonna see some really top-notch performance in the game.
Okay, is everyone ready? I'll do a countdown from 10, and then we can put everyone to the other channel. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, good luck. I'm really curious to see who is a Cuphead favorite and who is a Mugman favorite. Because for the run, it actually doesn't matter. So it's just a skin preference.
Right. If anyone can still hear us in the commentary channel, the On Deck channel will fix that. But I'm guessing that we may be muted already. So yeah, there's two. The DLC added like a new character. The new character has a completely different move set, and it's but Miss Chalice requires a charm slot. Like, she's a charm that you get at the beginning of the DLC. She's really good. And it's gonna, I wonder who's gonna like opt into using her, or if there might be like a hybrid where some people use her for like the DLC and then use Cuphead otherwise. I do know though that Muckorm and Bufanda are like hitless veterans for this game. They have a lot of muscle memory with Cuphead, and it may be in their best interest to just stay with Cuphead or Mugman.
Miss Chalice is such an OP character though. She's really strong. Also, Crystal Daydream, thank you for the $20. Good luck, Muckorm. Make us proud.
Ooh.
Thank you. That is really appreciated. And yes, everyone, keep donating as well, because today we're raising money for charity after all, for the American Heart Association. So through clicking the simple link that Boggett put in chat, you can donate for a really good cause.
So it looks like everyone's going for the forest. The forest gives you coins. They're going to get 5 coins here. And I'm guessing that everyone's going to go down to the mausoleum pretty early on. The mausoleum, the way to unlock the DLC in this game is to beat one of the mausoleums, and the first mausoleum on aisle 1 is the quickest way to do that. So you can get to the hardest content in this game pretty quickly. And for a hitless run, you can like minimize the amount of time it takes to reset by getting down there as fast as possible. And you need to beat 1 level to get down there. So the forest is a pretty good option for that, because you get money along the way. And one big difference
strats is that Fede is using roundabout already in the forest. It's something I've never seen before. I wonder if it has a benefit or not.
Yeah, I actually have never seen that either. One big difference between this game and, for example, like the FromSoft games and even Hollow Knight is that your character starts out pretty strong. There's not many ways to like build your character and do more damage than the beginning of the game. If you like warped to the devil at the beginning of the game, you would do a lot of damage with the starting weapon. So it's a really good idea to just go to the hard stuff right away. So everyone is going straight to the mausoleum here, and they're
Looks
just
like they're
going
all
right for the
heading into the
DLC.
DLC.
Yeah, which makes sense. Yeah, and Federico's using a keyboard, which is just insane. He's done hitless runs on keyboard for a bunch of other games, and he's done it for this game too. It's just absolutely insane that he can pull that off.
Yeah, I've seen him do Dark Souls 1 on this. I've seen him do Dark Souls 3. He is pretty incredible with a keyboard.
It looks like no hits were taken in the forest, which is a really good start. It can be tricky, especially with nerves.
Mm-hmm. The forest can be tricky sometimes. Doesn't always want to work along. I wonder if people are gonna go back to the main game or if they'll all choose to do the DLC first to get it out of the way.
I think everyone's gonna stay in the DLC, but I guess we'll see. Okay, Muck, picking up this coin that you can only get with Miss Chalice. It's in the Miss Chalice tutorial, and then he immediately switches to Smoke Dash. So I'm gonna guess that he is just gonna stick with Cuphead for this whole run. You use Smoke Dash, and stick with his old muscle memory, which is a pretty good idea. He's been playing this game for a long time, and there's a lot of merit in doing that. Even though I don't think he would disagree that Miss Chalice is definitely better, but he just has so much practice with this character that he's gonna just stick with it. So he
Yeah,
starts out
like
with
you
a
could ask
giant.
me to swap back to Cuphead and I could not do it. The
The
main
first phase of
difference
the
is that their
giant is
parry is
insane.
different.
There's a lot of differences. The Miss Chalice gets parries with her dash, and Cuphead has to get it with like after jumping. But Miss Chalice has all these crazy ways to reset her abilities. She can dash twice in the air if you give her enough time. If you get a parry, she gets another jump and another dash. And Cuphead doesn't really get that. If you dash and get a parry with Cuphead, you don't get another dash. You also don't get two jumps, and it's so there's a really high skill ceiling for Miss Chalice.
Oof.
Of Fry taking a
Oh,
hit to the giant. The first phase of the
it's a
giant is
really
really
difficult
really hard.
attack.
Yeah,
This is a chaos phase. A lot is going on. There are some incredibly hard to dodge attacks. And you basically can't stand on the floor or you'll get gnomed under your
and
feet.
Buffon is already killing the last phase. He's insane. Also, Joni is I think opting to go for
Joni
the
chose to
bugs
go the
first.
other way.
Yeah. With Miss Chalice, there's a really good way to cheese the second phase. You can keep rolling on the second.
Oof.
Oh, he took a hit. The
Yeah, yeah.
if you're not rolling in the second like horizontal uh in the second like row, it can be really hard to see when those minions are coming on. So that's definitely
Yeah,
hard
he
to
got
react
caught
to.
by a minion and couldn't dodge anymore.
So it looks like Muck got through Hitless. He's on to Mortimer, the snowy level. This is an insanely hard level. There's not much room in the last phase to move around, and it's really hard to like dodge the projectiles. They don't give you much space, and then the attacks in the last phase like control a lot of space, especially on expert. But even on regular, it can be really really tough.
Fede took an additional hit as well. He's at 1 HP. The Giant is such a tough boss. Like, the DLC bosses have really done an amazing job at being incredibly busy with having to dodge. I must say I like the snowman boss though. It's one of my favorites.
Fuck.
Oh. Yeah, so the eye attack basically is a bit tricky. You have to do a certain kind of jump combination to get over or under the eye, or it will get you with its beams that go vertically up.
That's definitely a hit that he doesn't usually take. Joni's fighting my favorite boss right now, the cow. It's the only plane level in the DLC. I'd say it's probably the hardest plane level in the game as well. And there's so much stuff to like about this level. It's
I very much, especially the last phase is a tricky one.
yeah.
He's in a second phase now where he is just gonna be bombarded with coins, so I also think the animations of the cow boss are the most fun to have to deal with, because basically you go from a saloon to a final like canned beef.
So Fry's on this really hard last phase with Mortimer. Let's see if he can pull this off. Oh, he's
Oof.
going for. He may have learned that from me. I love jumping up there, like after the eyeball.
Yeah, so essentially, I think I don't know if on expert this goes, but on regular, so there are 2 difficulties or 3 actually. But they're all playing on regular right now, and like essentially, if you jump into the icicle, you can be safe from the eyeball attack, and then
Yeah, it's
dodge back.
not necessary on regular, but it looks like he has some muscle memory from expert there, which is pretty smart because you don't have to think about like which difficulty you're
Joni took
on
a
or
hit
anything.
somewhere around phase 3. Very very sad.
Yeah, Bufana just
Oof.
breezing through the DLC. He has a
Muckworm
lot of.
got lasered.
Oh,
So
did
the
he?
funny, the dog phase is actually this is one of the most fun phases in the DLC for me. Like you have to tilt your head because the controls are not the same, and I think it's a really really fun concept to just turn around the screen and like have the same thing going on, but with the controls actually flipped. But it is tricky.
The
I
animations in
personally,
that are like
I
really really
personally
cool.
tilt my head. I cannot do it with a straight face.
Yeah, but
Literally.
not a bad idea to tilt your head there.
Tony is going in that phase soon as well. And Fede is dodging the small dogs. Oof. Joni got caught. The hits
Looks
are
like
so
the
easy to take in this game. It's
yeah
it's
for
really,
sure.
really tricky.
Stuff happens really fast. It looks like Joni's the only person opting for Miss Chalice, which is pretty interesting. Like I'm
He goes
wondering
for a
whether
Miss Chalice charge combo, which I find really like cool of him as well.
Charge is a really really good weapon for well for the whole game, but also for the DLC. There's a lot of stuff where you can charge up while things are waiting to get on screen, and you can like organize your damage that way.
I find that charge, it feels, unless you're really skilled with charge, it's a really high skill weapon. So unless you really know how to use it well and like how to aim well with it, it can make fights a lot more difficult as well.
Yeah, it's one of the weapons where you have to practice a lot to get the most out of it. But once you practice it, it's the strongest in a lot of cases. Buffon is going to show it in the chef. He's also just breezing through this DLC. He's still at 0, and he's like over the last couple months, he's like become easily one of the best players in the world for this game. Like speedrunning or hitless running, he's just insane, and he's gotten a lot of like the craziest accomplishments. So it's really cool that that he's that he was able to participate, and
Yeah,
he's
Bufanda has been breezing through this game in all sorts of different runs.
so he's using charge converge. Converge is one of the new weapons. He's in the bottom right.
I wonder how Converge is beneficial here.
It's because it shoots really fast, and there's 3 streams of bullets, so it's really easy to kill the extra enemies for the bosses. It's one of the most offensive weapons. because you can basically guarantee that the enemy minions won't get to you. And he has been using it, I think, for this whole DLC so far, for the giants to deal with phase 2, like a really, really tricky phase 2, and to kill the spawns in Mortimer. So it's a really, really good idea to use that. And charge converge is like a super smart combo. So definitely a good play by him to go with that.
And he combined it with the smoke dash as well to deal with phase 2, which is really, really clever.
Yeah, Mucka and Bufanda are both going for a smoke dash because Miss Chalice takes up a charm slot. So that means that if you're going to use Cuphead, you get to choose a charm to help you out. And they're going for the iframes from the dash.
Oh, bet I got caught by some sausages. It's a difficult boss, the flying boss here. The airplane level in the DLC is madness. It took me so long to beat the phase he is in right now.
The third phase can be really, really hard for the cow. It can be really, really awkward, and it's hard to react.
Bufanda heading into the final boss of the DLC.
Yeah, the chef
really
is
nice,
so hard.
I think it's really nice to see that a new weapon that the DLC added is actually being used a lot in the runs as well, and that we're not sticking to the main game weapons all the time. I think that's a really nice thing, because with the DLC came a new character and 3 new weapons, which I think most of them are like really good weapons as well, so it's really nice to see that they added those.
Yeah, Crackshot and Converge are very solid weapons for damageless. And so here in the bottom right, Bufanda is like destroying these salt shakers with the charge shot. One charged up shot, and then a little tiny one takes care of them. So if you organize this is pretty much strictly the best weapon.
This is one of the quickest phase 2s of the final boss of the DLC I've seen.
Nice. And he's going to keep this charge and aim straight up at phase 3. It's going to come right down on his head. I wonder if he's going to do
the roll.
Well, he doesn't.
So he does have smoke dash. I don't know if it would work. Essentially for that phase, if you would lay in a corner, especially with Miss Chalice because of her smoke dash roll, you could dodge that element without having too much trouble.
Yeah, it looks like he did a smoke dash there that I wasn't familiar with that, but he can do it for Cuphead as well. He looked really confident with that, so I trust him. And there you go, like
Bufanda?
That's a Hitless chef. I think that was a Hitless DLC for Bufanda. That's pretty insane. Like that's the hardest content in the game. He kind of destroyed that. He's also has the fastest pace as well, so least hits and fastest pace. He's killing it.
Bufanda is flying through this. I think he is currently working on expert stuff as well in Cuphead.
Yeah, he's doing an insane run. He's doing like an all perfect grades run with it's a 300% run as well, so he has to get all of the coins from the parry gauntlet and the running guns, and he has to get all perfect grades with I think just the pea shooter. Like it's such an insane run.
Muck in the final boss as well, final phase even.
Muck's opting for Roundabout here. He may not have the coins for using something else, or he may just prefer Roundabout, but it's very hard.
Those platforms were so far apart.
Yeah. So it's gonna take a lot longer to kill this heart.
Yeah, so we're gonna see some real hard action for the American Heart Association, to which you should all donate. That was still quite quick. Is that not? There.
Try getting these extra coins before the chef. I think he's just making sure he remembers to get those before going on to the rest of the game, because he didn't switch weapons or anything.
You don't want to have to go back in the DLC.
All right, so Joni and Fry both on the chef.
Phase 1 of this fight is incredibly difficult. There is a lot to dodge continuously. And the only places where he takes damage is on his head. And because he moves around a lot, it means all your shots are eager to miss. It's a really tough phase. I wonder if Bufanda is going for a phase skip here. Or if he'll do the second phase of the frogs.
It's probably just going to depend on the RNG he gets, but Converge is really good for skipping the second phase of the frogs because you can penetrate like both frogs from all the way at the back of the screen, so you can safely do a ton of damage. Joni going for crack shot in the second phase. It's a really strong option. Like he's killing them very fast, and it's like probably second or third best overall. Like to do that, and if you're not comfy with charge shot, then it might even be the best. Ooh, he sets up a little trap for phase 3, and I'm guessing he's gonna use this for the hard as well. Like there's
It's a
little
really
bit of
strong
aiming
choice
involved.
to use crack shot in the hard.
Yeah, it's so.
Oh, and he goes for the smart extra EX as well. So each of the weapons have a special ability. Crack shot, which is like an auto aim weapon, has a special ability where it like unleashes this planet that also aims at the boss. So it's a really strong extra. It's basically like shooting him twice in the same amount of time.
And Crackshot is one of the auto aim weapons of the game. If it'll track the enemy, but if you get a direct impact with it, it'll actually do more damage. So there is a little bit of aiming involved where you can do more damage, and it's super worth going for like if you're up close to something. So there's still some skill involved, like with aiming. But if you do end up missing, it has a chance to hit anyway, so it's very strong.
Bufanda going in my my nightmare.
Fry getting a hitless chef there, pretty sweet. That is
really
super hard.
Good. GG.
Pretty much the hardest boss for this game.
Yeah, by far I would say as well. The DLC really did a step up on the difficulty, which I think is a really, really nice thing. Oh, McCorm getting the dreaded yellow combination on the slot wheel, which is I think by most considered the most difficult combination to get. It's really hard to dodge. There's stuff coming up and down, and you have to go around it.
Yeah, it can be really tough to learn. I think that for the first couple playthroughs of this game, everyone had trouble with the yellow, like the balls.
I feel like everyone was hoping for a double green, because basically the slot machine can give you 3 different colors, whereas green is the easiest one. So
yeah, one interesting thing is that once you practice that fight and you practice all the slot machine options, there's actually only one option that changes. The green and yellow patterns are always the same. So even though they're harder at first, if you can practice them, you'll always get the same exact thing. But the bowls is random. So you have to react to what's happening, which means that if you dump a lot of hours into the fight, that's going to become the hardest to like avoid, and while still doing damage. So it can be pretty hard for speedruns, and for hitless runs, especially with like Miss Chalice, it can be a bit awkward there.
Yep. The difficulty in Goopy, which is the blue boss that Mug is doing, is mostly that the jump is slightly different each time. And especially when he is big, if he phase transitions, he can just fall down onto your head. So shooting him while he's above you is actually quite dangerous.
Yeah, and I'm sure that some people have experienced this. It's not just in this game, but the phase transitions, reacting to a phase transition can sometimes be the hardest part of a fight. You can like get a stagger, like an unintended stagger in some games, or in this one you can get like an immediate phase transition, which happens immediately, and it's really hard to react to. So it can be the thing that's most likely to hit you, even though the attacks are supposed to be the things that hit you.
Yeah.
You know that they're coming and you know what speed they are, but there's like instant phase transitions for some fights in this game that can be really, really tough.
You have to be out of the way, otherwise you're gonna get him. Bufanda almost done with Isle 1. He's flying through this game. I think
So
out of all the airplane levels, this is my least favorite airplane level. Simply because there is a lot of like stuff going on, but like I just don't like the mini planes. They get me way too often.
yeah, they can be really hard. And I think I totally didn't see that Fry actually used Miss Chalice for the veggies and then switched back to Cuphead. So he's doing like a hybrid run where he's picking the character that he wants based on like the boss that he's facing. Pretty cool. I think everyone else is. Oh, and Joni is using Cuphead for the frogs as well. So we have two people like switching between characters. Pretty sweet.
It's really interesting that people opt to Cuphead for the frog fights. I wonder why they're doing it, because it's not. I don't see how it's necessarily better. Maybe for the final phase, if you would get the yellow slot machine option, it would be easier to jump.
For I guess we'll have to ask them, but for me the bowls is like pretty hard with Miss Chalice. Like it's a lot more awkward, and I think the jumps, yeah, the jumping in that level is probably a bit more awkward with her jump. You don't need a double jump ever. So you're stuck between like doing a little mini hop or doing like an awkward double jump, whereas like in
Yeah,
some
it's
other
something you
fights
have
the
to
double
get
jump
used
is
to.
yeah.
And Bufana's out of Iowan. Completely hitless as well.
Yeah, he's got I think a good chance at getting like a hitless run. He's insanely good and he's got a good start here. So he's already done the hardest part of the game. So he's just got to clutch this out.
He's on to Isle 2, which, in my opinion, is one of the more difficult ones. It has some tricky bosses in it. He's not grabbing the bonus coin, so I guess he has the weapons he wants as well. I really like how Joni uses the charge shot for Goopy for the final phase. We found that onto the clown, which can be a very tricky boss.
Yeah, he's gonna, I think, stick to Converge and try to kill these balloons. These balloons can be in tricky spots sometimes, so he's probably gonna use this charge and switch right to Converge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really strong.
Because you can damage the boss and kill the ads at the same exact time. So I'm guessing Buffon on to the last phase of the clown. I'm guessing he's going to kill all these penguins. He doesn't really have a good combo to get a quick kill here on the clown, so he's probably just going to drop down, use Converge to kill all these penguins, and then get a 2-cycle.
Yeah.
So there we go. Nice.
Yeah,
That's
the
like
strong
insane.
point of the weapon he's using is that the weapon he hits all the penguins at once, whereas some of the weapons stop at the first object they hit. So it's a really, really strong weapon to deal with those minions. So far, all runners have done pretty incredible. They have done the most hard part of the game, the hardest part, and we're still up to at most 3 hits.
Yeah, really solid performances so far.
Oof, Muckorm almost got a cornet there. The balloon dogs can be kind of tricky. They track you, but because you're jumping around to dodge, it's not always that obvious where they're gonna go to.
Also wondering, so Muck has a combination here, well, like a weapon combination where he can get a quick kill on this clown. So I'm interested in seeing if he's gonna go for like a speedrun strat where you can like optimize your weapon swapping, or if he's going to kill these the penguins.
Total speedrun strat. I wonder if he can kill the clown before he can spawn his penguins.
He wasn't getting the swapping in, so I'm guessing he's gonna go down and kill them. Yeah.
Still really solid. Melly, thank you so much for the $20 donation to the American Heart Association. That's really, really appreciated. That's super generous. Thank you so much. Almost everyone out of aisle 1. This final phase of the flower can be kind of tricky sometimes. You can give really annoying spawns for the roots that come up in combination with him spitting out flowers that can hit you. And Magor Mantu, I think the most difficult boss of aisle 2 by far.
Yeah, Baroness can be really tricky. There's some aspects on regular that are, I'd say, harder than expert. The cupcake can be really awkward. It has a lingering hit. I think it lingers a bit longer. So he gets the cupcake right here. If you get that in the last section of Baroness, she can come out and shoot her gun like she is now. Oh my goodness. So like, yeah, there wasn't much of a place to go there.
Yeah, he got out of it alive. So essentially, the cupcake boss, if you see different orders, it has 5 mini bosses for her first phase that can spawn in random orders, 3 of them out of the 5. So you never know which one you're gonna get, and you can never really practice for it as well to get it like consistent because of that as well. So it makes for a lot of reaction. They're both getting cupcake in the last phase. The RNG is not on their side.
Bufanda opting for a converge for pretty much this whole game so far.
Yeah, the
Very
converge
interesting
charge
choice.
combo is what he seems to go with for the entire run so far. Makoramante the genie. Getting the cats as well. They can be pretty tricky. It was your most difficult one of the 3 options for the genie first phase, right?
I had a lot of trouble with. I think the jewelry can have the most potential to be unfair, and the others are a bit easier to control. But the cats are pretty hard to get every time too.
I do think it's a genius boss though.
Oh my goodness.
Bufanda onto the boss with one of my favorite songs, I would say. It gets so catchy around the phase he gets in now. Because the music actually is really, really good for this game. Every boss has their own like music and their own style. It's really fun.
Muck choosing to lengthen phase 3 of the genie to save a nuke for this this last phase because the pyramids can be really tricky. The genie has like a beam attack that he can shoot from his head, and it's not always the same timing, so it can be awkward every now and then, and he just chooses not to deal with it at all, which is a super smart thing to do.
Oof. Bede almost getting stuck there with the gumball that doesn't want to go. He does a really good job of twirling around there. So to head in the final phase of the Bonbon boss that Fede is doing is actually really tough. The flying head she throws tracks your location and will go to wherever you're standing, so you are forced to keep moving around. It adds a lot of chaos to the boss sometimes.
Buffon is onto the boss that I think made a lot of people quit the game. The dragon's really hard. It's one of the bosses where if you spend your coins in the wrong spot or like get the wrong weapons, you can just get stuck here and just not
I was
really
stuck
have
here
it.
for the longest time
Yeah.
until someone told me to use a different weapon.
There's a lot of hitless runs where it's worth it to just buy Lobber for literally this one boss because of how good it is. And even though it's just you're spending all those coins for one boss, it makes it more consistent. But Charge Shot is a really, really good option too. And there's no need for him to buy Lobber if he already has this and knows how to use Charge.
Joni
It's
doing a really good job saving up his like super EX for the last seconds in case he needed it. So Buffon onto the most difficult phase of the dragon. Shooting the balls that the dragon spits at you makes it like split into 4. It's really tricky. They will come right at you, whereas they first just track you and go often very diagonally.
nice. Was that a hitless
GG.
IL-2 as well?
Hitless IL-2. Bufanda is going for it. Oof, McGorm took a hit there. The final phase of the bird can be really, really tricky.
He has a 50-50 to go left or right, and if he goes to the left immediately, you have much less space to deal with, so that's pretty bad RNG for a speedrun or a hitless run.
The tricky part as well is that if the heart comes out to do its attack, you can't actually hit the bird, you need to hit the heart. So if you are like waiting underneath the bird boss, you do no damage the entire time until the heart gets back. Bufana taking a quick break before going into the B. I think this is also a boss that a lot of people quit the game on.
Yeah, the B is I feel like one of the bosses that wasn't completely thought out. The regular version of it is definitely harder than expert. It's the screen scrolls slower, so you have less movement options. You can't diagonally jump up 2 platforms like you can on expert. And on regular, for some reason, she shoots 2 projectiles in phase 2 instead of 1 on expert. So you have
So
pretty
as
much
we're gonna
twice as
see
many
right
things to
now,
dodge. Yeah.
she's gonna spawn another one, whereas the more difficult version gets only one of those, which makes it significantly easier. But I guess we just gotta believe.
And like this diagonal jump, for example, like there's no platforms, but he can't get up there without using an EX and floating. The screen will start scrolling a little bit faster once you get to the last phase, and that jump becomes makeable. But the phase 2 on regular of the B is one of the hardest phases in like the whole game. It's super awkward, and there's not much space to avoid the projectiles.
And also, everyone, if you are here watching, please do also consider making a donation to the American Heart Association, for which we are raising money today. it's why all these runners are doing what they're doing and showing their best performances. As Baga just posted the link in chat to where you can make your donations as well. Because everyone this weekend went out there and is showing their best skills and their best efforts to impress you all and to do something good for the American Heart Association as well. I really admire Bufanda's consistency with the weapon choices.
Yeah.
He's all out on the charge.
Yeah, charge is really good for basically every phase in this game except for maybe one, which is like the first phase of the train. And the pirate actually has like an NPC in the overworld dedicated to him just to tell you to switch weapons, because the pirate's really hard to hit with pretty much every weapon, and charge shot is one of the ways around that. You can aim while dodging with it and still get the vast majority of your damage. So it's a pretty good choice here.
Oh, Bufanda actually using the blind spots of the attack in the last phase. And Joni going into the final phase of the clown as well. Those tennis balls can be so tricky. That was a really good dodge from Macorm there for the triangle.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
So Bufanda just chilling here, composing himself. He's still hitless. He's going into the mermaid. Pretty smart to just pause there and collect yourself.
The mermaid is a really tricky boss.
I'm not sure if anyone picked up the plane bombs. The plane bombs is like if you you can get a lot more damage.
I actually haven't seen them.
Yeah. There are ways to swap real quick to a bomb with Cuphead and swap back, and you get basically a free bomb, which it's a lot more damage. And whenever you have downtime, you can actually reset the bomb cooldown, so you can get like a decent amount of extra damage with it. And especially when you nuke, there's like everyone's been nuking on the plane levels. If you nuke and swap weapons in this game, the bomb cooldown resets on its own, so you get like free damage there.
What?
And
you can kill the thing? What is it?
Kill the seahorse?
Yeah, no, the bombing thing. He killed the turtle. I had no idea that was an option. I'm gonna be very honest. It's really, really smart. It's to not get him cornered there, because it can be really tricky. So Bufanda getting caught in the eye laser, but it's actually not considered a hit. You don't take damage for it. You do get frozen in the spot though. So it's not something you want to do on purpose too much.
Only taking a current patch exclusive hit there. There's, if you spam EX on the current patch, you can slide back. You can basically do like a moonwalk backwards, and he did not react to it in time. It's like it's really, really hard to react to.
Joni going hard with the dragon, fell off the clouds as well.
Yeah,
so that's 2 hits for him on the dragon.
Especially with Pea Shooter, that's like really hard to do.
Yeah, he wasn't using Lobber, was he?
No.
Fede going for another mausoleum, so that means he wants to pick up a second super.
Hey Brody, I would say about an hour for an All Isles run, depending on the player.
The last second cold cut, don't even talk about it. Last second hits are happening way too often on some bosses. Both on Sally. I think she's a really fun boss. One of the most fun bosses of the main game. With her transitions and the way it like tells a little story throughout the fight, I really like it.
Yeah. also one of the bosses with like hidden properties. The base game has a lot of confusing bosses that have iframes and random spots. For example, all that damage that Muck did right there actually just didn't count. If you like set that trap, if you set the roundabout trap a bit later, you can get all the damage to hit. But it's pretty arbitrary to, and without a debugger, it's almost impossible to tell when they have iframes. And Sally's pretty bad with it.
She also has the trickiness that she can pop back down on your head at the end of her first phase if you don't care, if you're not careful.
Yeah, the angels in the beginning of Sally, they rise up, which designates that you have done enough damage to enter phase 2. But this game has there's you can basically do it with any boss. You can get a phase 1 attack while you transition into phase 2, and with Sally, she can just jump right on your head, and it can be really devastating.
Oh, really good dodging from Joni there. Those were difficult.
So
The
Buffon is
most
still at 0
difficult
hits.
part. The most difficult part of the B platforms.
Yeah, the platforms are the hardest part, and it's there's missing platforms for a lot of the patterns, so it's just necessary to learn like how to adjust on the fly and like where your movement options are, because there's going to be a lot of cases where you just don't have very much room to work with.
Using pea shooter on the dragon, really tough. Because of the clouds moving, your shot gets in and out of the hitbox of the dragon the entire time, so you constantly need to adjust, and then as well dodge the flames. Ooh, really daring from Muck to stand underneath Werner there. I would not dare.
He's probably counting or keeping track of how much health he has, just from like how long the phase 1 was. But yeah,
essentially,
if
you don't want to do it.
yeah, he can transition into the last phase and immediately sit down on you, which is really hard to react to if you don't know it's coming. It comes out faster than any attack, and
Same
it's one
for
of
the
the things
plates
that'll
on the
get you hit.
side. They will go back way faster than they normally would. So there's like, you need to react so fast to it.
Try
It's one
using
of
Pea
those
Shooter
places.
for the dragon. This is really hard.
But he did it. GG. Buffon is still going hitless as well. Really impressive.
Yeah, he's nearing the end of the game. He has a really good shot at getting like a live hitless run,
Oh,
which is
Joni
insane.
took a hit at the robots. The robot is a tricky one. I'm still figuring that one out.
Fauna taking the first phase really slowly. Pretty smart. Nice. He's got it under control now.
Yep, the face is his.
Once you kill the antenna, you can tuck yourself in the bottom left corner and kill the projectiles, and you have a lot of space to work with.
He gets the most difficult RNG though, in my opinion. The hands can be really tricky, especially in combination with like the bolts and screws being thrown at you. He actually didn't choose to go for an EX into phase 2 there, which normally would allow you to skip phase 2. So he's doing it in full. I wonder if he's doing it to, have the EX at the start of this phase. A smart choice.
I'm sure Buffon is nervous. He probably wants to pull off like a live hitless run here, and this is like a true bullet hell now.
this phase of the robot is, in my opinion, one of the most difficult ones in the game. It's really tricky. It can be really narrow. Because the robot goes up and down, the angle and distance between the projectiles changes as well. So you need to be really like well practiced on this boss to be able to perform it good. Nice dodging from Mugworm.
The turtle in
Did
Colinaria
Joni
is
take
so
a
hard.
last second hit on
I think so.
a last frame hit while doing the charge shots? That is really sad.
Fonda using Converge for the first phase of the train, like the other weapon he has is one of the worst for it. It's super hard to get to kill that phase with just charge shot, but he has like a really good weapon to complement charge, and the pink ingots like will spawn for every phase but the last phase on regular. So having the Converge, like a very fast shooting weapon that goes full screen and penetrates, is the best decision. It's the safest way to guarantee that these all die, especially on expert. But the same concept applies for all the other phases. And it will be a little bit easier in the last phase, because on regular the pink ingots don't spawn. You just have the boomerang and the flames to deal with. So he might just switch to charge here for this entire phase.
Yep, looks like he's gonna.
But I bet you that if
I
it was
wonder
on
if he
expert, he
can.
would just
Oh, he can kill it without it closing again. That's really quick.
yeah. You can get a pretty consistent one cycle with charge if you hit all your shots.
Oof, Joni getting caught by what we were discussing about Werner. He face transitions on top of him. Really sad.
Yeah, it's super important to keep track of the HP there, and it does
Either
suck
the HP
that,
or just don't use that place. Yeah.
yeah. Bufanda hitting all these drinks at once. He's going for the first level here on King Dice. It's super rare. I think he may be the only person going for number one. It can be really awkward at the beginning of that when all three of them are alive. But Converge hits all of them at once, so he got a pretty quick kill there.
Pea shooter into the train. Oh, I bet that EX does a lot of damage there, yeah.
I'm guessing that Muck is using Pea Shooter because he's done so much expert content on this game, and Pea Shooter is one of the best for the expert version of this, because the pink ingots will still spawn in the last phase, and you need like a really fast shooting weapon to kill them. So he's just opting for Pea Shooter there, and it works out fine.
Better dodging a difficult pattern there. Any combination with the bombs is kind of tricky, because the bombs get different heights and at different like vertical planes on the game, so you never know like where they're precisely gonna be.
So I'm wondering who's gonna like which bosses are gonna be picked for King Dice for all the different players. Bufanda went for the drinks, the domino, and the 8-ball. And Muck goes straight for the cigar. So we immediately something different.
Ooh, Fedin not going for the cheese on the mermaid there.
Yeah, also
And he took a hit because of it. Oh, really sad.
it's one of the most random parts of the whole game. There's really not much to do about that. I think some of the beams you can narrowly avoid with a mini plane on one of the top or bottom parts of the screen, but I don't know if it's completely consistent because the walls will close in on you.
Yeah, it's really, really sad. It's like one of the most difficult phases. I feel like everyone on their first playthrough tries to like damage tank through it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, including myself, just kind of waited to get lucky there, and where they just got a
Yep.
good pattern at the end.
So normally the strat, as we might see with Joni, is that you get really close up to her face, and that way none of her attacks will actually hit you. So all you have to do is focus on dodging upward or downward, depending on where those spikes are going to be in the field. So maybe Joni will show it off. But that is actually like one of the solid strats for the Hitless there. Both on the domino chips.
Muck also going for the domino here.
I think out of the three, it's the easiest one.
Yeah, the middle part of King Dice, like 4, 5, 6. You have to choose. Oh, yeah,
Joni God.
You gotta be careful about the eye gaze.
Oh, he's also choosing to stay behind.
Yeah.
Or not? Or yes?
No, he's staying behind, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen here.
What happens with this attack? Okay, so that's like a guaranteed hit that you have to get out of before the spikes come. I see. GG on the last phase like that, though. That is really good. Only one hit on this boss for him.
Muck using the roulette, which is completely trivialized with any type of smoke dash or iframes, like Miss Chalice roll or smoke dash will.
Definite most difficult boss of the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 100%. So you can just smoke dash out of everything. Very solid choice, especially when you're nervous at the end of the run.
Fry using invincibility. In the second phase.
I didn't see Fry pick up the invincibility, but he has the IL-2 super.
Yeah, he went for the mausoleum too. Yeah, he picked up the super.
I'm guessing he's gonna use that on the devil. Oh, Bufanda pausing.
Why did Bufanda pause? Does pausing have any benefit there?
Not there. He may have just been composing himself. Maybe something happened in chat, but you can pause buffer in this game to see like where to move. But there was nothing on the screen there, so I'm not too sure.
We can ask him after, maybe.
Converge is a pretty strong option here. You can kill
you can hit both eyes. Really
I think
strong.
He's about to get a hitless
I wonder
run.
if he's gonna do super one. Oh, GG Bufanda.
Nice. So Bufanda getting the fastest time. Yeah. A live hitless all aisles run, doing the DLC completely hitless, and then
pretty insane.
Yeah. And getting the fastest time along with it. So insane performance, and I'm really happy that everyone got to see like Bufanda play, because he's like become, like I was saying, like one of the best players in the world, like easily. And I'm really glad that he got to show off a bit here.
Yeah, give it up for Bufanda, everyone.
And honestly, from what I saw, like there wasn't really a close call there. Like, there's extremely methodical.
He had a really good devil fight. Yeah. Okay, Fede going for the skip in phase 2 of the flying boss. So basically, if you UX bomb at the start of the second phase, you can just skip it entirely, which is really strong.
And Muck on the Devil now has a 3-hit run, very solid. The first phase of the Devil is really hard. There's a couple attacks where you don't have much. You can't kill the projectiles. You have to dodge them, and that can be really tough in this game. But he gets through hitless, so now he's it's all up to him now. There's nothing for the rest of the fight that can like give him much trouble if he aims well. And Pea Shooter is a very good option for the Devil, because the Pea Shooter EX actually goes through these platforms, which means that you can kill the enemies on the left and the right side of the screen very consistently. And So he has 3 cards here. I'm wondering if he's just gonna stick to Pea Shooter.
Yep.
Yeah, now going through the platforms with the EX there, most other EXs just would, I think actually every single EX would just get blocked by those platforms. So very good knowledge there.
He has also
Firing again.
really good eyes on where the chip was gonna be.
Yeah, this
Chose
is
to
also
be
my
way ahead
weapon
of time.
Pea Shooter spread is so good for the devil, and that's what he's going with. Ooh, nice.
GG Muck.
Hitless devil from Muck. Another like really good run.
Okay, Joni into King dies, going for the cigar as well. That's a 3-hit run from Mug for the entire game, which has some really difficult content in it. So that's really good. Like everyone is doing incredibly good.
On a live run where you can't restart, it is so easy to take 3 hits on just the DLC. So like doing the whole game like that is insane.
Better good control over the Werner there.
That's gonna be a really hard pattern. I don't know if he what he would have done there. There's a couple options, but they're all really hard. But the phase transitions just in time to avoid it.
He's killing the mice.
So what's Joni gonna go for here?
For number 4.
Nice. So same route as Muck.
Did Muck go on the
He went
8 ball in
3-4.
the last one?
I'm not sure. No, he went for roulette because of Smoke Dash.
Oh yeah. Basically all the other numbers you don't want to see. You just avoid them.
Oh my goodness. Getting that parry
really
that Joni got was, yeah, you can land right on top of that parry and still not get it because you'll hit the ground first because the hitbox of that is not as big as the sprite.
GG Muck, GG Bufanda. Okay. Fede almost going into King Dice as well, just a train left.
Yeah, pretty close to the end of both runs here. He's just shooting him in the face with roundabout. Not the worst option. Let's see what he does about this ingot. Just going for like a vertical
just
parry.
Going for it.
Not the easiest, but he's got it.
It shows some good skill because that's really difficult to pull off without taking an accidental hit.
Yeah, parrying from below is extremely hard in this game. When people are asking for like general tips of the game, I tell them to not move, like stop moving a lot to eliminate a factor.
Going into S rank, Pea Shooter only.
Is he?
I think so. We'll see by how many flames there are gonna be. Yeah, expert Pea Shooter only on the final boss of the DLC, which is the most difficult boss in the entire game.
And Pea Shooter only is really hard for that. Like the last phase takes a long time.
He's being a true Giga Chat right now. Okay, Joni going into King Dice phase, which is pretty tricky. You basically have to parry on top of the cards, and you have no space to stand in between, so you have to keep going. It's really easy to take damage. Oof, what is he gonna... Oh, Fede made it. Good.
Yeah, Clamp's being reminded of his Hitless run with just like using roundabout for everything. Very honestly, not the worst option.
Roundabout is a pretty good weapon.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
It does a lot of damage. It's pretty versatile. The only difficulty is you have to aim backwards.
It's one of the 2 weapons where you can set up traps off screen and get a lot of damage preemptively. Roundabout and Lobber are the 2 weapons where you can get the most damage with traps. So pairing those with anything is very strong. But using them by themselves is also very strong. Muck going for the parry gauntlet here, just showing off like the hitless parry gauntlet.
It's a pretty fun gauntlet. It's new in the DLC. There's nothing like it in the main game. It's basically a replacement for the mausoleums. You get coins from it as well.
Only going for, in my opinion, the best combo for the devil, just like Muck. Pea shooter spread. Spread allows you to kill the imps like close range as fast as possible, while also doing a lot of damage to the devil. And you can switch to pea shooter in certain like spots, like on the platform, to guarantee that you can kill any spawn point. So if you practice the spawn points, you can get a really quick kill. And the pea shooter EX is like go through the platform, so you can guarantee to not get hit if you play well, which is like what everyone's going for. But yeah, Bufana taking a hit in the
yeah, he lost the
expert pea shooter
platform.
only.
Yeah,
It's so hard.
it's a really difficult run because pea shooter like is really difficult to hit there in that phase. Joni going into the devil right now.
Yeah, just taking it slowly, shooting straight up with pea shooter. There's a couple ways to do more damage than this, but this is a way to like just make sure that you're focusing on everything and just being very defensive.
I think none of them have gotten the most difficult spell that he has. I haven't seen it yet.
No flame wheel.
No Flame Wheel, which is one of the most difficult spells he has, in combination with the attack, which he often gets off before the spell is out of the screen. It's one of the most difficult things to dodge.
So Joni not saving his EXs here, it could be a bit tricky if he gets like the faster RNG here. The purple guys can spawn on pretty quickly, and it seems like he got a slower version.
Good. Oh, missed the platform.
Oh, that definitely surprised him. Falling is really hard to react to in this game.
The falling is so quick, and there's nothing to do about it. Fede going for the bunny, by the way. One of the most difficult bosses in King Dice, I would say. Especially with Miss Chalice, you do not want to do this boss at all. She has a horizontal dash, and it makes it near impossible to get through it without taking damage.
GG finishing, Joni finishing his run. GG to Joni.
GG.
Very solid run.
Really good run.
Freya, I think, was the only person going for the chips, the poker chips. He was, I think, just dashing through. Like, definitely, I'd say not the easiest thing to do. But so we got 1, 2, and 3 for this. Pretty cool to see all that variation.
Yeah, it's really nice. Flam still feeling the pain from flame wheel combos. Okay, Fede going into the King Dice part. It's really impressive that he's doing this on a keyboard as well.
Yeah.
Him doing all his runs on a keyboard, all like getting hitless runs, it's so incredible. Makorm is on one of the most difficult ones in the parry gauntlet. So there are 5 different parries or parry bosses that you have to get through. And he's definitely on the most difficult one. You have to dodge stuff on the floor while you have to parry the heads back into him. And they do not want to move.
Bufana's on the secret boss, which is just one phase, but it is so hard. Like, you have very little room to work with. And it's very disorienting because you can only damage the one you're facing, and the one you're facing is the only one that can damage you. So, like, if you turn around real quick, everything changes, and it can be hard to keep track of everything.
It's really easy to take damage when you turn around and you just had a projectile coming in your back.
And Fry is getting ready for the devil. Let's see what he goes for. Probably equipping Super 2. Yep.
Yeah? No, he doesn't have it on, right?
Oh, he decided
he chose not
he
to
decided
equip
not
it.
to. Yeah, equipped it and then unequipped it. He's going just pea shooter here.
Okay.
The unequipped spread.
Getting the hand clap straight at the start there is really, really tough. You don't have an EX yet to dodge, which is usually how you stay in the air for that attack. So getting it at the start is definitely a toughie. Muck doing great at the final boss in the parry gauntlet. That is a lot to dodge. And there we have it, the flame wheel.
Nice, takes care of it.
Good.
That's not what you like to see at the end of a hitless run.
Definitely not. No. Oh no. And we should be back.
Nobody panic.
Nobody panic. Josh, especially not you. Don't panic. No hits were taken by Fede though, so all is good.
Nice.
He is killing it with the pea shooter. Oof! What a dodge. GG. Pea shooter
Nice.
only. Really, really good.
Hitless double for Fry. These were like some really good performances. Like doing, especially like that. This had the DLC at the beginning for everyone.
Everyone has done
really cool.
such a good job on the runs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone give everyone a GG. They all had amazing performances. And also, the reason we're having this event this weekend is because we are raising money for the American Heart Association. So if you have anything to spare, as little or as little as you can afford, it would mean so much if you could make a donation to the American Heart Association. They do really good work. And thank you, Weedy Gonzalez, for the $20 as well. Thank you so much. That is really generous.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Great job.
Thank you so much. GG to my partners.
GG to everyone. I was pretty nervous for the whole DLC.
Hi guys, you all did a good job. Good job,
yeah,
guys.
Everyone did insanely good. Bufanda, like you pulled off like a hitless all aisles run.
Bufanda is
That
giga
was
chat.
insane. Yeah, yeah, that was so crazy.
I don't know how you kept it together.
I did some testing with the weapons. I thought charge and convergence were the best option. Play really safe and also
really good combination.
quite fast.
Yeah, convergence and charge complement each other really well, and
I think you're not being honest. You can do this with any weapon, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe, but
and we saw your attempt. We saw your pea shooter attempt as well for the final boss of the DLC. Really good job there too.
Yeah, but I got hit in the last phase. It wasn't perfect. I would say Chef is the hardest boss, especially with pea shooter only. It's really hard.
Yeah,
to
it's.
In
the
hold on, you did get hit in the last phase of the devil?
No, he was just doing like an expert chef after his run. He didn't get hit anywhere.
Expert pea shooter only, Chef.
I thought that was Hitless.
Also, Fede, GG on Pea Shooter only for the devil. That is really
Ah.
good.
Yeah, with piano.
Thank you.
That's absolutely insane.
Thank you
Good
so
piano.
much, and well, it was really fun to play again this incredible game. For me, it's one of my favorites. The music, the gameplay, everything. Right? It's
Yeah.
it's like art. This game.
It's a really good game.
I
A really
love it.
fun one.
Yeah. And Shishi for Magworm and Johnny too.
It was interesting to see like the switching between Miss Chalice and Cuphead for like the different bosses. Like for the frogs, for example, like switching and I think for the DLC, Joni, you were using Miss Chalice mostly, right?
Yeah, I use Miss Chalice for majority of the DLC, except for the flying level.
That was interesting because I was my intuition would be that everyone would want to keep their muscle memory like the same, but it's really cool to see like you pull off like switching characters like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I wish I would have got Hitless, but hey, the nerves got to me. But it was a lot of fun, and yeah, I love using Miss Chalice in the DLC.
All good, dude. You had a really good run.
You
Everyone
did
like
really amazing.
everyone had a really good performance. I think like under 10 hits for a live run with the DLC is really hard to do.
Also, thank you, Clamps, for the $20 for the kids. Thank you. Also, that makes
Clamps.
us like $52 away from 4,000 raised for the American Heart Association. So that's a really good job.
We have a couple more minutes before Sekiro. What were
Yes,
the?
left.
Yeah, what's up, Bufanda?
Why you weren't participating? Would have been nice.
Oh yeah, it would have been fun to go up against you, dude. But like you're insane now. Like you're so good at the game, and it's really cool that everyone's like able to see that because you've put in so much work like over the last like half a year, and like
Totally.
seeing you get to this level is amazing, and I'm really proud of you, dude.
Thank you.
Just
Alright,
checking to
alright.
see.
So after this, we're having Sekiro.
Yes, just getting everything ready for Sekiro. I really appreciate everyone watching. Thank you so much. This is the end of the Cuphead section. And we have Sekiro starting up pretty soon here. We have like the runners.
Give it up to all the runners as well of the Cuphead section. Definitely go give them all a follow and check them all out. They're all amazing at Cuphead, and they all deserve all the attention and all the love as well. You all did great today.
Yeah, it can be hard to find Cuphead streams, and there's some like a lot of talent that I think just hasn't been exposed. So it's really cool to see to finally like have Bufanda show off for everyone because I knew that you're gonna kill it. So and Muck, thank you so much for participating in another event. Like you're always solid, dude. And Joni and Fry, I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for helping the co-commentating with me as well. I appreciate you being here with all the knowledge you have about the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I also want to shout out to commentators. Thank you guys, you did a good job as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sublime and Vero. Hope you enjoy as much as we do. And well, I need to see how the other players play because it was really fun. I had a really good time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you all did amazing. I was super impressed by all your performances. You threw it out of the window there. Really great job.
Thank you.
Looks like we have the Sekiro runners on deck, and it's about time to to take a quick break, and we'll get Sekiro set up in a couple minutes.
Yes, thank you for being here for the Cuphead segment of the event. It was really fun to have you all here, and all the runners and everyone watching as well. Thank you so much. And thank you for the donations that came in during this segment as well. We are super close to reaching $4,000 raised. So we're doing an amazing job. And
Yeah,
we're going to
that
have
was
some
extremely
Sekiro
generous.
after. Yes. And thank you for having me for commentating.
And
It
thank
was
you
really fun to
for having
do.
me. Absolutely, Joni. I hope you can get the full clear Hitless. That sounds really hard.
You're gonna get it.